This is the same workbook what we used, right? That
Yes.
other day?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
fine, fine, fine. So let me close this one first of all. Okay, fine. Now, see, generally what happens, if you, this is the slicer over here, what we used, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm.
And we were kind of, using it on several pages.
Yeah.
Let's say, as of now, we have only one slicer. For
Mm.
example, let's say I need to use multiple slicers here. For example, I need one more slicer for, let's say, city,
Okay.
right? This is also one of the slicers that also I need to use.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you are using, let's say, multiple slicers, slicers are not the visualization that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So they are, unnecessary taking the space on the page.
Yeah.
Do you agree with it?
Yes.
You're using just you're using that only for the filter, correct?
Mm. Yeah.
So unnecessary they are taking space on the page.
Mm.
Now, if let's say I'm using these two slicers over here, I could have used something else. Maybe uh, I could have used filters or put these slicers on. Let's say, just a minute. Uh, Yeah, what I meant, we could have used filters, and at the place of the slicer, what space these slicers are taking, we could have taken some other chart over here, right?
Mm.
That would
Mm.
have been possible for us,
Yes. Mm.
right? So looking at that concept or usability, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can do some customization so that you see this. Where is the filters right now? You don't see any filter pane here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, And let me show filters. Yes. So you see this, right? For filter, what happens? If you
Mm.
click over here, you get it expanded, or
Mm-hmm.
otherwise you don't see it.
Okay.
Can we create such type of panel for slicers? Think about it.
Mm.
Like when I want, I can see the slicers, and when I don't want, they should not appear on the page.
I don't think we can create a separate one. Maybe we can hide, I think.
So that's what I'm asking. Any idea, like what can we do in order to create that?
Mm. No. No.
Okay. Okay, fine. So see, for that, let's see over here on page one, or maybe let's do one thing. Um, Reduce the size of this page one a little bit. Okay, so just look at one thing here. Whenever you see like you are not able to kind of adjust the size, or maybe you're not able to align it, at the
Mm-hmm.
place of doing it manually, try to use some options over here. In Power BI, you have options, right?
Okay.
For example, let's say width I need to manage, right? So width of all these three should be fine. That is what I want. I mean, that should be same. That is what we want,
Mm.
correct?
Yeah.
If we need to do that, how can we make this equal width?
In the format we can change it, the width and the height of the size.
Right. So I'll just select all three.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I have put the navigation, I'm not able to select it properly. Fine. So I'll just select this one first. We will go to format and
General, right?
general. And over here you got width, so it is 100 right now.
Mm-hmm.
For this, so this is also 100, and this is 96, so I'll just make it 100. And height wise, I really want it to be small, the top one. So we'll keep it as it is. So okay. Now what I'm going to do is, because I'm saying that we want to create some panel, right? So that will
Mm-hmm.
appear whenever we want to use the slicer, or it
Mm-hmm.
will not appear if we don't want to use the slicer. Correct?
Okay.
So for that we need to create some panel, and there has to be some option through which we can open that panel and we can close that panel,
Okay.
right? So in order to create that panel, what I'll do, I'll just go ahead and put one button over here at the top, right, in all
Okay.
the pages, and that is the reason I kind of created this space. So I'll just go ahead and go to insert, and over here if you see, these were the text boxes what we saw many times.
Mm-hmm.
For headers and all, we use these text boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Another thing is button. So over here you have different type of buttons like left arrow, right arrow, reset, back button, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's, for this purpose, let's take a right arrow key. So which means if I click on that button, that right
Mm-hmm.
arrow on a right arrow key, this panel will open. So for example, if I go to and show this thing over here, correct? We'll just
Mm-hmm.
click on this and that panel should open. That's what we want,
Okay.
right? We can just
One.
format it.
Can
Mhm.
we do it for like one button with for multiple panels, or only one button for one panel?
One button for one panel,
Okay. Okay.
right? So why multiple panels?
No, just asking. Like multiple slicers can be opened with one button.
Okay. So what we will put multiple slices.
Okay.
Getting?
Yeah.
So we'll just format it. But okay, I'll just copy it and go
Mhm.
to all other pages. Put
Okay.
it there. Control C. Go here. Control V. On this sheet also, I'll put it as Control V. Okay. So we got this button on all three pages. Now the next
Mhm.
portion will be to create the panel, right? In order to
Yeah.
create panel, again, you got shapes, right? Buttons we can use for click activity. Shapes
Mhm.
you can use to create the panel,
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah.
over here, let's take rectangle.
Okay.
Let's start from sheet one only. 100, and cross table. Over here also 100. Okay. So we'll just take that rectangle and we'll kind of create this panel over here. Fine.
Okay.
Now my plan is to kind of get all these slicers onto this panel. So for
Mhm.
that, I'll just select the slicers, maybe resize it or put it onto this panel.
Okay.
Fair enough. And
Yeah.
then I'll take this also
Mhm.
and we'll put it here. Okay. Now you might ask, why don't you see any of the slicers over here? Right?
Where?
I mean slicers. Where is another slicer? It has gone, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're able
Uh,
to hear me properly, right? Or is there
yes.
any?
No, no, no.
Okay,
I
okay,
can.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Fine. So, uh, see what happens in any of the tool, whether it is PowerPoint or any of the tools, if your
Mm-hmm.
objects are kind of, overlapping on top of each other, then
Okay.
you need to manage which will be at front, which will be at back. Correct?
Yeah.
That then only you will see, your objects properly. So
Mm-hmm.
over here also right now the what is happening, your this panel what I took, right, the rectangle shape, that is
Mm-hmm.
coming at the top, and you slicer and there was one chart that went into the back, right?
Okay. Okay.
So
Mm-hmm.
we need to manage that order.
Mm-hmm.
How can we manage that order?
We can bring that to front. There is an option called bringing the image to front like that. So that
How?
option can be used. In view or something. Format or
Okay,
view, some option is there.
okay, go to view, and then let's go to selection. I think in selection what will happen, you'll get all the objects from the chart, right? Whatever objects you have on this particular page, you will see everything.
Okay.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then over here what you need to do is you need to bring back, I mean whatever will be at the top, that will remain in the top, at the top. So over here if you see, this is the shape right now which is at the top,
Okay.
right? What we need to do is we'll bring back our slicers on top of it. So maybe let's say if you select it and take it to the top, it came,
Okay.
right? Similarly this, I'll bring this also at the top. Yes. So now you can see both the slicers on top of your rectangle.
Okay. Okay. But this is different from the images which we do. The
Mhm.
image also gets overlapped and it doesn't visible. But we don't do this using selection panel. There is one more
Mhm.
option.
Okay, we'll see that also. Okay,
Okay.
so for now,
But both are different, right?
yeah, there could be some differences in the options, right? But the purpose is similar, like what you want to
Purpose is
bring on
similar.
the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Fine.
So items, and over here outline I'll give frame. Okay, fair enough. So this is one of the view wherein you can see all the slicers, right? But
Mm-hmm.
okay, I need this button was there for bringing the panel.
Mm-hmm.
I would need one more button so that I can collapse the panel. Correct? So
Yeah.
that I can send the panel back.
Mm-hmm.
So one more thing, alignment general exposition. I'll do it. Let's say 95. Sorry. I need to bring that at top. So it will be 96 only. Y position. Let's bring it at uh, -1. Okay. 0, and the shape. This is also 0, but that doesn't look like that that's it.
Mm.
Okay, fine. We'll just go here with this particular slicer, and what I'll do, I'll just create this space so that I can put one button over here, and I'll insert a button called maybe left arrow, correct?
Yeah.
So we'll take this and we'll go to general or the padding option, what I get, where I get the padding. Okay, here only.
Hmm.
Or let me use the same properties as this one. We'll just change the arrow. So copy and paste here only. We'll take this, reduce the height, and we'll change the arrow. So that arrow will become default state, sorry, icon. Right arrow, I'll change it to back arrow or left arrow. Okay, here we go. Don't need border for this, so we'll disable the border. Maybe padding is 4 only. Okay. Okay, there are multiple paddings, that's why. There is one padding on button text, and then there is this padding which is for icon. And okay, this looks good to me now.
Okay.
Okay, fine. It's created, but is it going to be kind of working for us?
No.
When will it work? What should
Mm,
I do so that it should work?
we need to link that slicer to the button.
Right. So not only that, we need
Hmm.
to kind of complete our concept of this hiding and enabling this also, correct?
Mm-mm, yeah, yeah.
Because uh, as of now, it will be kind of completely visible every time. That I don't want.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
And the whole thing, the full
yeah, the
panel,
whole
right?
the whole panel, right?
Okay, okay.
Okay. So what I'll do over here, first of all, I would like to group all three objects. So my panel number one, then okay, let me select selection. Button is at the top, slicer, and then shape. So let me select button. We'll select slicers. We'll select another slicers, and we'll select the shape, right? And
Okay.
we'll kind of right click over here and we'll group this. So you understand the group and ungroup option, the same thing you get in PowerPoint also.
Mm-hmm.
Like number of objects you can group into one.
Mm.
So I'll do the same thing over here. Now, if you see, all three objects or four objects got grouped into this group.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. Now the property, this eye icon we discussed about, it yesterday also.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If
I
you
discussed
select
that.
this, right, it is appearing. If you
Mm.
hide it, it won't appear.
Okay. Mm.
Correct?
Yeah.
So what I'll do now, these are the two different states. One state is like I can see my panel. Another thing is I don't see my panel.
Okay.
Correct?
But if we hide this, it won't be
Hmm.
visible here or in the dashboard.
No, I'm coming to that point. I'm just
Mm.
talking about these two initial functionalities right now. When we want to show it, it appears.
Yes,
When we
yes, yes.
don't want to show it, it doesn't appear.
Okay,
Correct?
okay. Mm.
But
Yeah.
but over here the problem is if it is not appearing, still
Mm.
there was some value which is kind of selected over here, right? So what I mean is if I show it, because of
Mm-hmm.
this, I was not able to see all. See, now it is fine. So now if I hide it, this is my initial state, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what I will do, I'll just save this screen as a bookmark,
Bookmark.
correct?
Okay.
Bookmark. So what I will do, let's go to view, and then you got bookmarks option,
Okay.
right? So it says add a bookmark to save the filters, cross highlighting, and drilling you have applied. Means from the same dashboard, if you want to save different statuses, correct? Like
Mm-hmm.
let's say you applied some of the filters and you want to save that status. So
Mm-hmm.
you save that as a bookmark,
Okay.
correct? So what I'll do, this first state I was to save as a bookmark. As soon as I do it, it will ask add. I'll
Okay.
add that as a bookmark one. Maybe I can rename it. I will say initial state, initial state. And over here, though I have created it, right? I hope it doesn't have any filters, default filters. In order to make sure that it doesn't have any filter, correct? What we'll do, we'll just go here and we'll say uncheck this data,
Okay. Mm.
right? So if you selected the data, what will happen? All the filters, whatever you selected in that view, they will also retain in the bookmark. But I don't
Okay.
want to retain any filter.
So
So
just
that's
we
why
need the visual alone.
just the visual. So
Okay.
display current page, all visuals. So yeah, all visuals on this particular page.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what I have saved as a initial state.
Okay.
Now I'll just go ahead over here and show this.
Mhm.
Okay. I think it is opposite right now. In initial state, I want to show this particular slices. Just opposite. So let me just close this, delete. I'll add it. We'll name it as initial state.
Mhm.
And same thing, I don't want to retain data. So this is my first view,
Mhm.
which I have done as a initial state.
Okay.
Now let's say hide this, and then I will
One
kind of,
more.
you
One
know,
more. Bookmark.
yeah, mhm,
Okay.
yeah. Then I will add another bookmark
Okay.
and we'll see. Okay, again here also we'll say data. No, and then I'm going to rename and we'll say maybe back. Let's see. We need to check something, right?
Okay.
So first of all, let's create the action and then we'll see what is the current status or it is working or not. Okay.
Okay.
So over here we had two buttons. On this particular button, if you just go here, go to action,
Mhm.
enable
One.
it,
Okay.
right? Action and then enable it. Under the drop down, you will have couple of options.
Okay. Mhm.
Bookmark, drill through, page navigation, all these options. So I
Mhm.
select bookmark right now. As soon
Mhm.
as you select bookmark, what will happen? You'll see all the bookmarks which I
Mark.
have saved. So
Okay. Okay.
initial state or back. So I'll select initial state
Okay.
and we'll say maybe show slicers panel. Correct.
Yeah.
So we'll see that whether it is working or not. So let's go ahead, cross this, cancel this. Okay. So if I select on this, what will happen?
Okay.
Right? It appears.
You click now or
Okay.
just hover on it?
Yeah, yeah. So no, I clicked on it. Basically,
Oh, okay.
right, with control you need to click on it.
Okay.
It'll appear. You select anything whichever you want, right? And then if
Mm-hmm.
you want to collapse it, you just click on this button. So for this button, what I'll do, I'll go back again to visuals, action, and
The same
over
thing.
here
Yeah.
I'm going to select the bookmark and the next bookmark over here back.
Back. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right, let's see what happens in this case.
Right.
Close panel, and if I click over here, it gets closed.
Okay.
If
Okay.
you click on it, it will open. If you click on it, it will close.
Okay. Okay.
Right?
So,
And mhm.
one down. Like if we show it separately, the PBIX file will be the size of the PBIX will be more. So this will reduce.
See, that is the reason we have not saved data with bookmarks. Right?
Okay.
If
Okay.
we
So
save data
that
also,
data.
hmm,
Okay. Okay. Got it. Yeah.
right, it is just the visuals. Hardly it will be 2 3 kbs. That's it.
Okay. Okay. But if we keep it as a slicer, then the data it will take separately
Yes.
because it is a separate. Okay, fine, got it. Yeah.
Okay. So this is the view generally. I mean, right now I would say it is not that good. Like
Yeah.
if you are working on UI, you can make it more interactive and very
Okay.
good for end users.
Okay.
Right. So if you are in Power BI desktop, you need
Mhm.
to use control button in order to interact with these buttons, like control and then click. And once you publish it, for example, publish home. Let me. Okay, this is the default one. Okay, I'll publish it. Sometime it happens. I have noticed it. Let's say if you already have a workbook on your uh, Power BI web service, sometimes it kind of doesn't overwrite. So right now it is happening same thing. See, it is keep revolving and nothing is happening over there because the
Mhm.
same workbook with old visual is already there. So I'll just cancel it. This 6/24/2020. So I'll just go to my workspace. 6. It's not here. Test workspace. Yeah, it's here. What I will do, I'll just delete it. Delete. Same goes with this data set. Okay,
Okay.
we'll
Mm.
try to publish it once again. Test workspace. Okay, so it's done.
Yeah.
I'll just go back, open PBIX file.
Mhm.
Okay, over here, direct click will work. In Power BI desktop, you need to use control. Over here, it will just on a click, it will work. You select your data, whatever you want to filter in both the slices, and accordingly, you can collapse it and you can. So it is page 1. If you want to go to page 2, same goes with page 3. Right now, we don't need this slicer over here, right? We can hide it.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay, page 1, this will come like this. Or if you want to kind of remove all the filters and then collapse it. Here we go. Correct?
Mhm.
You can create it more interactive at the place of panel like rectangle. You can take some image also. So you can create a better view if you
Yeah.
know user interface or UI designing.
Mhm.
Okay, now let's talk about another topic over here. So generally you might have seen uh,
Mhm.
like if you just put your mouse on any of the object, this is the
Mhm.
tooltip what you get,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Can we get any sheet on this tooltip? What I mean is, let's say I want to show some chart on the tooltip. Let's say if I put over here, put my mouse on top of it, I can see some chart. Can I
Yes.
do
Yes. We
that?
can do it. Yes.
How?
We need to create a tooltip in another page. I mean, a chart in another page. Link both
Hmm.
the pages with tooltip option.
Okay, so let's do that. So I'll just go here. Maybe we'll create another chart. Let me call it as type,
Mhm.
and we'll okay, we'll take maybe store number. So this is the table what we created. Now what I'll do, first of all, I'll there are some settings which I will do. Maybe I can do it as page view, fit to width or fit to page.
Mhm.
And with this particular table, let me just select some styles. That's our formatting what we want to show.
Mhm. Tooltip.
Correct. And page view is there. Now for this particular table, if I go to general, no, column headers, values. Okay, let's go to complete visual. Okay, I don't see any options, alignments, tables, title, values, grid. Okay, fine.
What do you actually
I,
want to do?
I just wanted to make it in the center. So I'll
I
look into
think
the some other Mhm.
it's possible. I think just a moment.
Okay. Hmm. Okay, fine. We'll do that. But for on
Yeah.
a page property, right now I have not selected the any visual over here.
Mhm.
On the page property, I've selected the page, not the object. So on the page property, you need to go to the properties over here, and
Mhm.
then you need under page information, you need to enable the tooltip number one.
Mhm. Yeah.
Correct. That is
Yeah.
what you can do.
Mhm.
And then from here, I think you only the page alignment. This is what you can manage. Top or middle.
And page size
Background.
also.
If you Yeah, if you want, you can do all those settings. Page size also. Yes, you are right. So on page size, this is the default what you get as 16 versus 19. Under this, you will have different other formats like letter format. A letter format will appear here. If you select maybe tooltip, the tooltip options will come. Or if you select custom, you can define your own height and width.
Mhm.
Correct. So
Yeah.
I'll select tooltip right now because we want to show this on the tooltip.
Mhm.
So we'll just leave it by selecting tooltip. And over here, if you wish, you can hide it. I
Yeah.
don't want to show this page by default,
Mhm.
right? If you
Yeah.
won't hide, it will appear. So if
Mhm.
you want, you can hide it. Now the next thing what I want to do, basically it is the FS count and mol count. These are the two counts what it shows.
Mhm.
Let me see that this is showing the right number. Some I don't want, some I want count. Okay, now it's fine. Count of store numbers, basically count of stores.
Mhm.
Okay, and then I'll go to page one. Let's say I want to implement that tooltip on this particular heat map, right? Or tree view. So I'll
Mhm.
just select this particular chart, and over here under action, I'll go to tooltip So right now tooltip is enabled, but it shows a default tooltip wherein I can see the numbers.
Okay.
What I'll do, under tooltip, I'll go, there are type options. So over here under type, you have default or then report page.
Mhm.
Default, it will show those numbers. If you enable, because you have already enabled one page, so that's why it shows the report. For report page, you can select your required page which you want to show as a tooltip. So page
Okay.
3 was the page which I created to show as a tooltip. I've selected it and that's it. So what will happen? I can come back over here and this is going to show me, if you hover your mouse over here, it is going to enable that same sheet what we created.
Mhm.
Now the good thing will happen, it will automatically filter out basis data. So let's say if I select this city, it shows 48. If I select this one, it's 56. If I select this again, 56, 56, 16, mall. So the category, I mean, I can see generally it's mall only. Okay, let's do one thing. From this particular panel, I'll select only FS malls. Okay, because of this mall, it is showing mall. Because I think we selected only malls.
Mhm.
Okay, so now if you see,
Yeah.
FS and mall both are coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if I wish, at the place of table, because table doesn't look good over here, what I'll do, I might change it into pie chart. Okay, I don't know what is happening, but let's see what it shows. No, something is so let me delete it first of all. Get rid of this as well. It's a blank sheet now. I'll add
Mhm.
one pie chart and over here I'll add type and stores. For this, we'll just convert this into count,
Okay.
right? Title, if you wish, you can go to title under this count of stores, alignment of title, and if you want, you can change the colors of these objects as well. So basically, data and color. Maybe you can take your required colors.
Mhm.
Okay. Legend, if you wish, you can show it, or maybe you can simply. Okay, let's leave the legend. Okay, fine. So if I go now, see, for a particular city, whatever I'm selecting, I can see the required pie chart and it will show you the count of FS and malls into the same city what you put your mouse on.
Mhm. Okay.
Right? So this is also a tool tip. You can use it. Right. So two things. This slices. I think Ritesh, I think you joined quite late, right? I'm not sure whether you are able to see this, but we just created two views over here. I'll just publish it once more.
And forgot to ask. Yeah. So in Power BI desktop, we have to control click, right? What will happen if you just click that in Power BI
Where
desktop? I mean that arrow, right arrow.
this one. See, if I'm directly clicking, see nothing. Sorry, I'll go back to Power BI desktop. If I simply click over here,
Uh-huh.
nothing will happen,
Okay. It
right?
just
You,
selects.
yeah, it just selects. Nothing will happen. But
Okay.
these will happen over here. It will happen. Let's say if I select page two. Okay, sorry. These are also not working. So you need to press Control and then click. Then it
Okay.
will all the buttons will work. So let's say
Oh,
if I just click Control and then click on it, it will navigate from this page to another.
okay. Got it. Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, 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 yeah Yeah, Ritesh. So basically we created few views over here, and one view was like I can just click, we can see this slicer panel, select something, and then collapse it back. That's one. And another is the pie chart what we just created. I think this is the old page. I need to refresh it. This is the new one.
And what happens if we publish once and if we make changes again? Uh,
Mhm.
just a refresh will do it, or we have to? How does that work?
We'll have to publish it again,
Okay, so okay, we have to delete this and
right?
publish it again.
No, no, no. Delete is not required. Today I deleted for one because sometime it happens. If it is an old file or maybe a big data set, then I have kind of seen this problem happening in some cases. But generally you don't need to delete. As
Okay,
soon as
so
you publish, it will overwrite.
okay. So new file won't be created. Directly it overrides
Yeah, it
unless we
overwrites.
change names. Oh, fine, fine.
Let's see. Correct. So we got that view over here.
Yeah,
Okay, fine. So these were the views. Now let's talk about. Have you heard about Zoom charts?
no.
Okay. So Zoom charts are basically, one of the. I think I discussed it in briefly in the session. That you can use your custom charts also, which are available in community.
Yeah.
Right. It's Zoom chart is basically that only. And one of the vendor, or maybe you can say company, they create custom charts for Power BI.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on your requirement, you can use those here, and you can maybe utilize into your Power BI, which are kind of other than your default
Mm-hmm.
visualizations.
Okay.
All right. Any questions as of now?
No.
Okay. Forecasting we did right earlier.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just thinking what is left, because generally, visualization wise, it is all simple. Mostly, this customization which you need to work with, and navigation, like one page to another. How will you control like slicers, so that let's say on one page, right, on page one, you selected something, right? For example, I selected this one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting all this data. If I
Mm-hmm.
go to some other page, I should still be able to see this data only, I mean related to this category. Is it possible?
No, I think not sure.
From slicers it is possible, but for
Yes.
filters, from filters you need to check whether it is possible or
Yeah.
not.
Maybe if we give filters on all page.
No, but this is not the filter I'm using, right? This is okay. Let me just see. Uh, I don't know whether I covered it earlier or not, but let's say if I select this four columns over here, it basically filters out your data in all the visualizations on this
Mm-hmm.
particular page. Can we
Okay.
control that? Let's say I
Uh,
don't want to filter it out. Let's say
I
for
mean,
this pie chart, I don't.
in this page alone, or in any other page you're
Yeah, yeah.
asking?
No, no, no. In this page only.
Okay, we can do
How?
edit interactions.
Edit interaction. Correct. So we'll just go here, and let's say I selected this.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go to edit interaction, maybe format, and then edit interactions. And then you see this button over here, like a kind of stop button. So on each chart, let's say this chart, for this, I don't know where we are getting. Is it for this? For map, it is this. Okay. Let's see. I'm not sure whether this is coming for this particular chart. Okay, let me just do one thing.
It's not showing for pie chart.
What?
Is it not showing for pie chart? I think. Not sure. Let's see.
No, that's what we need to see. Yes, now it is coming. Actually, it was getting hidden earlier, right?
Hmm.
So this is the option. If you just click none, see, now I can reshape it. Fair enough. So now if you select anything, anywhere, map will change, but your pie chart will not.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, fine, fine, fine.
Okay. Yeah. All right
Okay,
then.
okay.
So we'll
And
meet again tomorrow by
yeah,
7:30. Yeah.
fine, fine, fine.
You were asking, I think, something. Or is it the one?
No, no, no. I just wanted to tell you to share this video. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. It will automatically
and
record
the
it,
last
right?
video.
So yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay. I'll do that.
fine.
Okay then. Bye bye.
Thanks.
Bye. Yeah.
Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye bye. Bye.